All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing and many salutations to you, elect Dakium, across the four winds of this earth, pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Sha'ar from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, coming at you all with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's willing is edifying, and I'm just on the road right now, coming back home from work, listening to the Apostle Dahar lesson he did earlier, going into the whole Professor Griff, Nick Cannon ordeal, all right, and how Nick Cannon ended up getting fired from a show he started, by the way, but ended up getting fired from a network that Wild 'N Out premiered on, okay, and his lesson is titled, Letting Nick Cannon Go Backfired on Esau, all right, and that's definitely true. The apostle was going in and through the Spirit. I didn't even really get all the way through it, but just the points he was making really wanted me to land back on what he was going into, you know. And for Esau, even though Nick Cannon, you know, he doesn't have the proper understanding, all right, he is pushing out that we are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. Even though his doctrine is off on what he's learning, all right, it's still the common understanding that we are the Israelites, and we are seeing that this movement that's taking place through the Spirit, all right, has Esau shook. Okay, the apostle made the statement going into how we're spiritual juggernauts. When you go into a juggernaut gains more strength through tribulation, all right, through fighting his enemies. He receives the strength of his enemies when he fights, you know, and that's what's happening through the Spirit. All right, Esau is literally losing so much to the point where he's cutting off pages, brothers' YouTube pages, networks, platforms, and such. And it just goes to show you how vulnerable this devil really is. All right. He literally stopped this man's show that's been going on for over a decade. Put a stop to it just because there was controversial remarks that was made in that interview that he had with Professor Griff, going into how we're actually the real Semitic people. Okay, and in Semitic, there's tons of Semitic people on the planet Earth. It ain't even just us so-called Negroes, but, you know, it's Edomites, they're Semitic. Elamites, they're Semitic. Okay, you have a lot of those individuals that's over there in Syria, they're Semitic. Ishmaelites, they're Semitic. It's a lot of Semitic people on the planet Earth, but you find it interesting that the so-called Jew, all right, those that claim to be Jews are the main ones that hold on to that. Okay, they're the main ones that hold on to that and are quick to point the finger out if you say something that opposes, all right, what they want. They'll be quick to point the finger at you and say you being anti-Semitic. And it, again, as I said earlier, it just goes into how vulnerable Esau is while he's going through these lengths and these measures, all right, of cutting off, pretty much closing our mouths, putting a gag order out on us. All right, and it makes me think of this scripture here, and I'm going to read this here. And again, this isn't a transit, but I'm going to read this here in Isaiah the 19th chapter, because this is prophecy taking place. That's why this devil is acting like this. He's moving with fear because he knows that we waking up as being a people, all right? And when we wake up being a people and all start calling on the name of the Lord, that's when the Lord will avenge his people. Just like when you read it in the book of Exodus, the 2nd chapter, going into when we were slaves in Egypt, it said the Lord heard our groanings and remembered his covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he had respect unto Israel. All right, well, we understand, well, I'm going to rather word it like this. We, as in being within the circle, we have understanding on the respect that the Lord has, and he has respect unto his elect. And that's the understanding that I meant. And within that respect that he has unto his elect, remembering that covenant that he made with our fathers, he's getting ready to save us out of this captivity. And he's getting ready to subdue and bring these devils, all right, you Edomites, under. Okay, with the chief house of Edom being Amalek. All right. But I'm going to read this here in the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter. All right. And let's see here. I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 19, and I'm going to start at verse 16. All right. because this is going into how Egypt is being brought down. And modern day Egypt is America, contrary to popular belief. Modern day Egypt is America. When you read this here in Isaiah the 19th chapter, and it's talking about Egypt, all right, this is prophetically talking about Mystery Babylon, which is America, if you can receive it. Okay? So this is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 16. It says, in that day, Egypt shall be likened unto woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And when you go into that shaking of the hand of the Lord, that goes into the rebuke. All right? And the Israelites are definitely rebuking America. All right? Starting with those that know they Israelites, starting with Great Millstone. All right? We the main ones that stirring up controversy. Okay? And we saying that with confidence and boldness. And there's other Israelite groups doing it too. Not just putting us in there. All right? But we believe that we have 100% truth. Okay? But at the end of the day, all right, this doctrine that's being brought forth, all right, the Israelites waking up, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans waking up and shining that light on the wicked deeds that America has done, that Esau Edom has done being in America, that Egypt is doing. This spotlight is being shined on it. All right, and that's causing these Edomites, these modern day, or these Edomites, these Americans, all right, causing them to fear. These modern day Egyptians, that's what I meant to say. It's causing them to fear. All right. And the reason why they're cutting off platforms, that we have, whether it be brothers' channels on YouTube, via example, Nick Cannon, he just got a gag order put out and pretty much lost his job. Okay. The reason why he's doing this is because he is afraid of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts. He's afraid of the rebuke that he's getting. Okay. But this is what was promised, what was going to take place unto the serpent that had beguiled Eve in the garden. All right. And now we're in a time where that serpent, all right, is getting ready to have his head smashed in. As it was prophesied, it said, thy shall bruise its heel, but it shall bruise thy head. And the it going into the seed of the woman, which starts with Yahushua and goes into the elect. All right. And that's bruising the head of the serpent. Okay, and we seeing it. That's why they're trying to put a censor. They're trying to put a censor over the mouth of the prophets. Okay. Verse 17 says, in the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereon shall be afraid of himself. And when you go into the land of Judah, it's not actually talking about the land, but it's a people before it's a place. And the tents of Judah is being raised up first, which is the southern kingdom. All right, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, and you read about that in Zechariah the 12th chapter, as it talks about the tents of Judah shall be raised up first. That's why you got so many Israelites talking about, oh, the Israelites are black, they're black, they're black, which they don't have the understanding that even the so-called Latinos and Native Americans are Israelites too. Okay, but they are waking up to the fact that the Israelites are waking up. All right, the Israelites are dark-skinned people. And that's bringing fear. That's bringing fear to our enemies. And it says, and everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself. So with Nick Cannon and Professor Griff, even though they're the way they did it, I mean, they don't have the 100% truth. They don't have the truth the way we have the truth. Okay. But the fact that they made mention that we are the true Israelites and that those aren't the true Israelites, it caused them to be afraid. So afraid that they fired this nigga. That they fired this man. I'm gonna rather word it like that. I said that jokingly. But they fired this man from his own show. Okay? And more importantly, it's the prophets that's bringing this out, man, because the prophets are the ones that are able to take the slander. The prophets ain't gonna go back and apologize like Nick Cannon did. Like a lot of these other guys that speak up against the system. All right, like the Deshaun Jackson. All right, those guys are apologizing. We ain't gonna apologize because it's the truth. Okay, and we understand what this devil plans on doing, man. The reason why they're gonna act like this and react this way and cause Jacob's trouble, all right, cause the enemy to come down like a flood, is because he's afraid of the shaking of the hand of the Lord. Not necessarily that he's afraid of us, which he is afraid of us, but more so He's afraid of the God of heaven and earth. He's afraid of Alashatya. All right? That's what he's afraid of. And he knows that as soon as we woke up to this truth, because best believe this devil knows. He knows. That's why he's telling this lie. In order to tell a lie, you got to tell the truth. All right? But the reason why he's doing this is because he's scared of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and the host of angels that's getting ready to come and making preparation to disintegrate these motherfuckers, man. That's what he's afraid of. And he's putting a gag order on us because he knows we telling the truth. It says, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt and America speak the language of Canaan, which goes into the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, being reawakened in the land of our captivity and spoken, and swear to the Lord of hosts, and shall be called the city of destruction. And that's what's taking place, man. But these devils are scared of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts. He's scared of the fact that he's being rebuked. Okay? And that's an example, as you've seen, Nick Cannon lose his show due to that remark that was made on this show. The fact that we the Israelites. All right? But I'm going to end it off on that. I wanted it to be short. You know, I just wanted to be on the road. And as I was on the road, talk about that as I was listening to the Apostles' lesson. But I'm going to end it off on that. All right, Lord's will, this is edifying. Shalom, shalom, shalom.